You're watching the #1 station for news and information in Southern California. Channel 7 KABC TV, Los Angeles, with Harold Green. Ann Martin. Dallas Raines with weather. Todd Donahoe sports. And the entire Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News Tonight.
Good evening. What may be the most controversial film of the year, a cinematic look at the life and times of the late black Muslim leader Malcolm X, is having its premiere in Los Angeles tonight. Jeff Michael is with the Channel 7 News van in Baldwin Hills for a reaction to the movie about the man who inspired black pride and black rage. Jeff.
Well, I'll tell you, Harold, the response here has basically been all thumbs up, a lot of attention. The last crowd is in seeing the movie. It's about an hour and a half long. You can see a lot of media attention going on here as well. People are not coming to this movie to decide whether they agree or disagree with Malcolm X. They're coming to experience the Malcolm X phenomenon, what his message was. And from that standpoint, they are not leaving disappointed.
You're not an American. You're an African who happens to be an American.
The audience listening to those words ranges from those who remember vividly the real Malcolm X to those who are meeting him for the first time through actor Denzel Washington's portrayal.
I believe that it will inspire a lot of people to do better in their ways. Just it's a powerful movie.
I thought it was an educational movie, and it taught me some things that I didn't know at first about Malcolm X.
For a change these days, most of the young people coming to this movie are brought by their parents. Parents who earlier in the day took their kids out of school and stood in long lines outside a theater that would become a classroom.
I bring my kids because this is something I want them to see. And Malcolm is someone I want them to remember. And I want them to read about him. And I was glad for them to see the movie. But I want them to make up their own mind about which Malcolm they like.
So I'm happy that I saw it today.
I can tell you, having just seen this movie myself, when you walk out, you have an awful lot on your mind. You're not in the mood to be hit up by all of the cameras and the reporters or this crew from Warner Brothers asking people to be involved in a commercial for Malcolm X. But the people who believe in Malcolm X's message also realize that if it's going to go to a new generation, to a large extent, this movie has to be successful. They gladly take part in that commercial. Reporting live from Baldwin Hills, Jeff Michael, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. Some fears have been raised about possible violence at the premiere of Malcolm X, and police presence was beefed up tonight in Westwood Village, where there was rioting when a gang-oriented movie, New Jack City, opened. We've got Linda Moore in Westwood live with the news van, and she's going to tell us how it looks tonight. Linda.
Well, Ann, that's it. The particular concern with this theater here in Westwood is that had the movie sold out, the people who didn't get in might have come out into the streets to riot. That did happen last year when New Jack City opened here, but of course, so history wouldn't repeat itself, they put together a big master safety security plan, and part of that plan included designating a second theater right around the corner here to handle the overflow crowd. But what happened is this theater here didn't even sell out, so they didn't need to use the second theater at all, and it was a peaceful crowd going in and an enlightened crowd coming out.
No riots happening. It's not a violent movie. No.
But it'll incite a lot of conversation, is what you're saying.
Definitely, yes. It'll incite a lot more conversation. I don't expect it to incite any violence.
And so it seems moviegoers left the theater too busy thinking about the message and too tired after 3.5 hours to get rowdy. In fact, in Westwood tonight, it's been so quiet, the sound of the horses' hoofs from the mounted police made the most noise. But the motto this time is better safe than sorry.
Our mission is, of course, to be able to be here and to allow that all of the people that come to visit Westwood and that are coming to see the movie can do it in a safe atmosphere.
Extra police cruised all night, and there will be heavier than normal police presence here through the weekend. But the idea is to keep it all low-key. Merchants wore blue and yellow jackets and passed out buttons that said Westwood is a wonderful place to shop. They say they can't afford any more bad PR, but many pre-screened X and don't anticipate any problems. So you glad it came here to your neighborhood?
I'm glad it came out, period. It is educating the American people a lot more on the black community, because most people like myself have no idea about the blacks and how they were raised. I mean, you know, that may sound a little funny, but you really didn't know.
so the horsey hooves a little noisy out here, but that's about it. Look at this. The place is empty, and the merchants here are quite happy with the way this all turned out. Of course, the movie will continue to play here through the weekend, and this beefed-up security will stay in place through the weekend. They're anticipating much bigger crowds Friday and Saturday, but so far everything is looking great out here in Westwood. And that's the story live. I'm Linda Moore.
Linda, thanks for that live update. You are not alone. There have been no major problems reported at theaters around the country that are showing Malcolm X. In Portland, members of the black community have called off their boycott of the Act 3 theater chain. Tonight's peace offering, a free screening of Malcolm X. Earlier, that chain refused to show the movie at 2 neighborhood theaters right next door to black neighborhoods fearing violence. But Act 3 relented and also agreed to review its practice on hiring vendors and contributions to charities.
Other news tonight, the custody fight between actress Mia Farrow and director Woody Allen got even uglier today. Farrow told the court that Allen defrauded her by adopting 2 of her younger children without revealing his affair with 21-year-old Soon Yi, Farrow's college-age adopted daughter. Mia Farrow now is trying to have those adoptions reversed. She ended her relationship with Woody Allen after reportedly finding nude pictures of her daughter in Allen's apartment. Harold.
And a domestic dispute ended with 3 people dead in San Bernardino today. Police tell Eyewitness News a young man murdered his girlfriend and her grandmother, then fled the scene. A swarm of law enforcement officers chased the fleeing suspect and cordoned him about 2 miles away. Police say the suspect refused to lay down his weapon. There was a fiery shootout. The suspect was killed. His identity hasn't been released just yet. It's estimated now that at least half of all the reported insurance fraud cases involve workers' compensation. One insurance company is fighting back. This is surveillance videotape of a man who's supposedly so disabled with neck, back, and shoulder injuries, he's unable to work. A cameraman hired by Aetna shot this tape, and it could be used as evidence in a fraud case. Aetna calls it a crime that's driving up premiums and putting small companies out of business here in California. Yeah.
Harold, President-elect Bill Clinton continues to make the rounds in Washington, D.C. Tonight he attended a fundraiser for a group called the Children's Defense Fund. His wife Hillary has been very active in that fund for many years. Earlier, Mr. Clinton met one-on-one with President Bush at the White House, and the two talked for almost 2 hours in the Oval Office. Mr. Clinton called it a terrific meeting and said he received a lot of insight from President Bush and said the American people would be pleased. Canada has agreed to compensate about 80 people used as human guinea pigs in brainwashing experiments financed in part by America's CIA. In the late 50s and early 60s, doctors subjected patients to electroshock, sleep deprivation, and hallucinogenic drugs like LSD. It was all part of an experiment aimed at treating schizophrenia. Canada's $6 million settlement amounts to roughly $78,000 per patient. Harold.
And 2 men who insist they are not gay have applied for a marriage license in Honolulu. They say they're doing it for the financial benefits, the tax write-offs. The Hawaii State Supreme Court is already considering a case filed by several homosexual couples who were denied marriage licenses in the past.
We don't issue licenses to same-sex marriages.
We're talking about are the financial benefits that come from having a marriage license, and that's all we're interested in. They're trying to make a mockery of the case.
Now, that last man is a gay activist, and gays say the two are doing it just to make fun of them. Yeah.
Well, Harold, the fight against a killer virus called AIDS is $4 million richer tonight, thanks to one of the most spectacular concerts this town has ever seen.
'Cause I never thought I'd lose, I only thought I'd win.
Elton John joins superstars Billy Joel, Barbra Streisand, Johnny Mathis, and Natalie Cole, and others in tonight's Benefit for AIDS Project Los Angeles. The concert was titled The Commitment to Life. The benefit was a sellout, and the audience donated up to $1,000 each just to be there. Good
What
night.
a show, huh?
Yeah.
Lots more to come right here tonight. An 11-year-old boy gets caught with a lot more than his hand in the cookie jar.
And still ahead, are they living the American dream or a family nightmare? A shocking look at the real Jacksons.
My baby, it don't matter if you're black or white.
Pactel introduces the California Connection.
Hi, honey. Just leaving.
The longest uninterrupted cellular coverage in California. All the way from San Luis Obispo to San Diego.
How was your day?
And all 392 miles of it at your home rates.
Yeah, I miss you too.
Continuous coverage. And because there are no roaming rates,
I can't wait to see you.
you could save up to 25% over roaming customers of LA's other cellular system.
Where am I now? Well, why don't you look out your window?
Money we're sure you can put to better use. Pactel Cellular.
United Airlines to Latin America, to 12 cities across 11 countries, and nonstop to Sao Paulo every day. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
Dear Lexus, my LS400 is great, but I have a suggestion to
How about a passenger side airbag?
Dear Lexus, I wouldn't have bothered you with this except that you asked.
An outside temperature gauge would be especially helpful.
It took 1,400 engineers to create it. And just a few doctors, artists, lawyers, CEOs, and entrepreneurs to help refine it. Introducing the 1993 LS400. See over 50 refinements at your Southern California Lexus dealer today.
It's Bullock's White Flower Day sale, Thursday, with sensational savings throughout the store. Don't miss it.
We're a part of your life.
The United Nations has a new ambassador of goodwill for the world's refugees, and she is actress Sophia Loren. She arrived at the UN's Geneva headquarters today to sign her contract. The 58-year-old actress said she was so moved to action a year ago by a newspaper picture of a starving child from Somalia who was near death but trying to smile. Her first mission is a tour of Somalia that starts on Saturday. Sophia Loren hopes that her presence will call attention to the tragedy going on in that country. Harold.
Let's hope she can do something. A court battle is underway in San Diego tonight between a 6-year-old girl and the Girl Scouts of America. The father of Nietzsche Cuevas Macias has taken the Scouts to court, saying his daughter is being prevented from going to meetings. She refused to take the Girl Scout pledge because it contains a reference to God, and she says she's an atheist. A judge has issued a temporary restraining order to keep her in the Scouts while that matter is decided in court.
And a boy who lives in Indianapolis has learned a valuable lesson tonight after he got caught red-handed. 11-year-old Joshua Berry was on his way to school when he tried to pry a soft drink can out of a vending machine, and he got his hand stuck. He was reaching up to get it. That's what he was doing. Firefighters came to the rescue. They used a special cutting tool to free Joshua from his embarrassing predicament. The young boy says he's learned from his mistake and promises to never do it again. Maybe they asked him to write 50 times, "You can't get something for nothing."
I don't know. We probably all have tried it with the old phone booths,
Sure.
didn't we? Put our finger up, hope to
You
get a little
bet.
change
Candy-
out of there.
candy machines, you
Absolutely.
bet.
We'll talk about the biting the hand that feeds you. As promised, DC Comics is killing off its cash cow, its money man, its go-to guy. Great Caesar Scott, Superman is dead, meeting his doom in edition number 75, due out Friday. Tonight, a Burbank comic book store called Power Pages held a memorial service for the Man of Steel. As you can imagine, sales of Superman books skyrocketed during the eulogy, which is expected to be surpassed in a couple of months when our hero makes his expected comeback of the century. No doubt about it.
Oh, it's called goosing the sales.
Well, they
That's
come
what
back
it's
in the
called.
soaps all the time, don't they?
Yeah, they
Suddenly
do.
they reappear.
You bet, you bet. Why not soup? Coming up on Eyewitness News, Dallas Raines has your Southland forecast.
And just ahead, meet the real Jackson family. It's anything but a family love affair.
Plus, have the Jacksons abandoned their hometown? We'll tell you why the old neighborhood is so upset. Coming up.
This is Karen's daughter then and now, and this is her lesbian lover. What would you do if you found out your child was gay? On the next Open.
At 3 on Channel 7.
Gone are the days of the 2-week vacation. The average American getaway has sadly dwindled to 4.1 days. But what hasn't diminished is our need to escape to a quiet, stress-free environment, like the luxurious interior of the Acura Vigor. Don't think of it as a drive to work. Think of it as a 30-minute vacation. See your Acura dealer now for details on the Acura Vigor Luxury Lease Program.
Broadway says before you buy a compact camcorder, ask.
Will its tapes play my VCR?
No.
No. Will its tapes play in my VCR?
No.
No. Will its tapes play in my VCR?
Yes, it's VHS. It's the Panasonic Palmcorder camcorder, now from $7.99 at the Broadway. And its tapes can play in your VHS recorder.
Carl Lewis is here. Come on.
Lewis, I'm here.
The Panasonic Palmcorder, now at all the Broadway locations.
Dallas has been telling us there's a change in the weather, and a lot of us are hoping it includes some rain.
It would be really nice, wouldn't it, gang, if we could get some. We have a slight chance by Sunday night, but this storm pattern is one that will bring us a lot of rain and cold temperatures, but not a whole lot of, did I say rain? A lot of wind is what I meant to say. Wind is what we'll have out of this one. All right, let's go and see what we have for you outside tonight. It's still clear, and some light fog is out there, but not a great deal. Big Bear cold tonight at 28, but even colder temperatures are expected for the mountains over the next 2 to 3 days through the weekend. That snowmaking, you can crank it right back up. We can get ready to ski because temperatures are really going to be dropping. Today's high was only 71. This morning's low was 55. Now, take a look at the satellite view, and you can see an approaching storm system over northern California. This is the one that will not bring rain, but will bring some gusty winds into southern California starting late tomorrow afternoon as this cold front will drive through. Could be a snow flurry there. You can see that over the Mammoth area, but not a lot of snow from this one. Maybe Sunday night, a chance of some showers. Windy in the deserts. That's the screaming message for our desert folks in the mountains. Windy and turning colder as temperatures begin to drop. Could hit in the teens in Big Bear by Friday night. Here's the forecast for the surfers. We've been working a fairly decent little northwest swell, a little wind swell, and that will continue tomorrow. So fairly decent surf out there. They're small but pretty good breakers. Fair with increasing winds toward the Santa Barbara area tomorrow. Partly cloudy with increasing northwest winds all across Southern California late in the day. Friday looks windy, 68. Saturday looks sunny and 70. And then a chance of rain late Sunday night. It's not a big one, just about a 30% probability right now. So we're waiting for more big rainstorms. But it looks like the big jet stream's beginning to change.
But when you say 30% rain, you mean 70% chance it won't rain.
It's a slim one. It's a slim one.
Yeah. Okay. It depends on where you are, too.
That's exactly right. If you're going to be out in the desert, it'll probably freeze.
Might be there.
Yes, I know. Up next, Todd Donahoe has sports. The UCLA Bruins back in action tonight with a brand new look.
And up next, are the Jacksons a family divided? Why America's favorite musical family is turning on each other.
The common touch and not losing what got us to this point.
It's a big investment. Get the most out of it. Change the oil every 3,000 miles and do it yourself with quality Pennzoil motor oil from Walmart. Only Pennzoil promises performance, protection, quality, and only Walmart gives you Walmart savings every day of the year. Every 3,000 miles, put fresh oil in your car. But first, come to Walmart and put Pennzoil in your cart. Your car will last longer, your budget will too. Walmart. Always.
It's ski season again, and now for a limited time when you buy or lease a new Nissan Pathfinder or 4x4 truck, Nissan will give you 2 season passes to Snow Summit, Southern California's premier ski resort. Or you can gear up with a $500 gift certificate for Sport Chalet. Add factory-to-dealer incentives, and there's never been a better time to buy. We can't make you a better skier, but we can sure make you look good on the slopes. Buy a Pathfinder or 4x4 truck by December 2nd and ski Snow Summit for free.
The Broadway presents the Panasonic GAO Super Flat System. It means advanced television technology. It means our flattest screen. It means high contrast black glass. The Panasonic GAO Super Flat System. And right now it's priced from $6.99 at the Broadway. The new GAO Super Flat System from Panasonic. Now at all the Broadway locations.
Listen to 94.7, The Wave.
and escape to a world where your spirits will be lifted and you'll feel refreshed. Choose the perfect radio station to take you away. At work, at home, or in your car. Listen to 94.7 KTWV, The Wave.
C&R sells the same suit as the department stores for half the price, guaranteed. So who didn't shop at C&R? If there's no difference, why pay for it?
Before the Jacksons became stars, they started reaching for the stars as the first family of music in Gary, Indiana. But Gary feels like a town deserted these days. Even though Father Joe Jackson still owns the house where he raised his 9 children, the family rarely visits. In fact, they haven't performed there as a group since 1971.
There's been an apparent total rejection of their origin. That is a no-no. In any sound business, you don't forget your beginnings.
A distant Jackson cousin answers the door at the family home, but does not try to answer complaints from the residents of Gary, Indiana. Harold.
Eddie, the Victory Tour marked the Jackson brothers' last performance together. And since that 1984 concert extravaganza, all the Jackson family members have pursued their own careers, their interests, and agendas. Francesca Capucci joins us now with more on this fascinating family.
Thanks very much, Harold. Well, each of the Jacksons have earned some degree of success. It's Michael who's remained the family's shining star. His solo career put him at the top of the pop charts for most of the 80s, but not without controversy and a tremendous price on his personal life. Many feel Michael's been treading on dangerous ground for the past few years as he's become increasingly reclusive and eccentric, with an apparent obsession with changing his appearance.
I get a little bit dismayed at the fact that he's gone through all this cosmetic surgery. And this is the one thing that has really appalled me and really saddened me. I look at his old pictures and I say, hey, this is not the same guy. This is not the Michael that I know.
Older brother Jermaine has put his musical career on hold to pursue television and movie opportunities. But in his most recent solo album, one song raised eyebrows as he attacked Michael through his lyrics.
You changed your shape, was your color wrong?
If I don't like you, I will tell you. If something's troubling me, then I will let you know it. We're brothers and we're going to get upset at each other, but I'm most concerned about us not losing the common touch and not losing what got us to this point. And whether it's Michael or Janet or Jackie or Randy or anyone, I'm going to take that position because they're my brothers.
The family's position has been a defensive one where Sister LaToya is concerned. She's made a practice of shocking the family with her actions. Last year, in her best-selling book and the publicity that followed, she made allegations of childhood abuse.
We're talking about all kinds of abuse. There was physical abuse, mental abuse, and sexual abuse. A lot of people refuse to believe that this actually happened to our family, but what they don't understand is that we're no different. We suffered a great deal. We just happen to be in the eye of the public.
The family has uniformly discounted her accusations.
It hurts. Yes, it hurts, but Mother, you go ahead.
It hurts me more that she's being used. Mm-hmm. And it also hurts us that she's saying the things she's saying out there. And it bothers me because the things she's saying is not true.
The real family, the people who know, who've been there, like me and my brothers and sisters, a lot of the controversy that we hear, we know it's not true. And, we just feel that it's something that people want to, make profit off of or do something to discredit the family because they've been so successful.
We worked hard. My mother, my father, Jackie, Tito, myself, Brandy, Marlon, Michael, and we built a name for ourselves. And during that time, LaToya wasn't a part of that blood, sweat, and tears and that hard work. And that's why I'm against her trying to tear it down, because we worked very hard for this name, and we're going to continue to work hard to keep it standing.
And for everyone who's curious about the rest of the family, here's a rundown. Reby is a homemaker, Jackie is managing bands, Tito and Marlon are business entrepreneurs, Randy is currently working on a solo album, and baby sister Janet is all grown up and rivaling Michael with her own multi-million-dollar recording contract. Annie.
Not bad.
Not bad. They did very well.
Real quick,
Pretty
what about
impressive.
Father Joe?
He's at home.
He's at home.
Yes, he is at home with Catherine.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Thank you very much, Frankie. Time to check with sports. College basketball season begins?
Believe it or not, it's here. Yeah, they have the new preseason NIT they've had for the past couple of years now, and UCLA participating in that. And tonight, beating the St. Louis Billikens 68-54. Of course, UCLA 24th ranked. There's their new big man, Richard Petruska, slamming for 2 of his 21 points. And then it's Ed O'Bannon with the layup and the foul. Tyus Edney, 16 points tonight. And UCLA wins 68-54. Elsewhere on the college basketball scoreboard, 4th-ranked Indiana is a winner tonight, as is 9th-ranked Florida State. Again, NIT games. From the highlight reel tonight, we're going to combine a little Hollywood and basketball. The movie Hoosiers. Little Hickory High School measured the rim in the big arena for the state finals, a coaching strategy so the small school wouldn't be psyched out. Tonight, Little Murray State did the same thing in Indiana to take on the mighty Hoosiers, the real Hoosiers. But the real-life Hoosiers won. Greg Graham scores, and that, of course, thrilled Bobby Knight. Meanwhile, in hockey, Reggie Sanders of the Washington Capitals, his first NHL goal coming on a penalty shot. NBA scores tonight. 3 games to tell you about. Phoenix over Sacramento. Shaquille O'Neal, 29 points, 19 rebounds. Orlando wins. And Boston is now off to its worst start since the year before Larry Bird became a Celtic. NHL scores, Edmonton's a winner, so is Minnesota over Washington. Brett Hull, his 9th goal of the season, but St. Louis loses. New Jersey over Buffalo. Sports celebrity lookalikes tonight. How about Denzel Washington, star of Malcolm X, and quarterback Rodney Peete of the Detroit Lions. And Barry Bonds, named the nationally most valuable player today for the 2nd year out of the last 3 years.
That's it?
And that's
One
sports.
lookalike?
One lookalike then. We have a short, concise sports report tonight.
And UCLA played the Billikens?
The Billikens, the St. Louis Billikens.
That's their real name.
That's
Live
their
next
name.
door to a family named the Billikens. Now that'll wrap it up for us. Nightline is next. Tune in tomorrow for Eyewitness News This Morning with Gene Gleason and Susan Compost. Until then, thanks for watching us. For Ann Martin, Dallas Raines, Todd Donahoe, the entire Eyewitness News team, I'm Harold Green. Good night, all.
Very good.